How's it going, John?
It is going well, Eric. How are you this evening?
Doing great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I saw another movie this
Okay.
past week.
Movies are awesome.
Saw Toy Story 4. It's a fine Pixar film.
I'm trying to remember if I saw Toy Story 3. I don't think I did.
That was the one with the bear and the very traumatic, emotional ending.
Okay. I did.
Yeah.
I did see that. So, but 4 was good?
4 was good, but it was, my oldest daughter commented on the way out. She said, it was like a 2-hour Pixar short. I missed my Pixar short.
What?
This movie did not have, you know how they always had like a short?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the
every
shorts.
Pixar movie. There was no Pixar short. And so she was like, oh, this was just like it should have been a Pixar short.
Huh.
So it was long. I think it was long, but I thought it ended the Toy Story. It's not a trilogy now. It's a
quadrilogy.
Quadrilogy. There will not be another Toy Story.
Oh.
No, it was a happy ending.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I honestly, we'll probably wait for the. I was gonna say a video, but we'll wait for it to come out on tape. It'll be a while. No. Sorry. We'll wait for the Blu-ray. I imagine. I've been Other than anime, the kids are totally happy to go see, like, if there's a Miyazaki film or something like that, they're totally in on that. But they're kind of in this weird spot where they're kind of like, cartoons are for kids. I'm like, oh no, they are not. Anyway, but maybe it's this uncanny valley. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just my older boy Justin is super into anime though, which I'm like Miyazaki and oh gosh, what's the name of the guy that did 5 centimeters per second and Your Name?
Shinkai.
Yeah, Shinkai. Makoto. What is it?
Makoto Shinkai.
Makoto Shinkai. Yes. Thank you. Oh my gosh, his films are wonderful. Wonderful. If you haven't seen Your Name, you should watch Your Name.
I shall have to check that out. I am dusting off some of my lone parenting skills this past week. My wife has been off at a camp.
Oh.
I was asked to haul a trailer full of camping equipment like flags and my truck. We use my truck to haul up.
You have a truck?
Yes, I have a truck.
Hey, can you help me move?
Why, yes, I can. And just a bunch of stuff that goes in the kitchen and for some of the activities. And so just there was a trailer full, and then the girls who were in charge of the camp, the camp counselors, I guess you would call them, they went up the day before. So Monday morning I go to hook up this trailer, and it's my truck is not that high off the ground, but apparently it's lifted enough that the trailer was at an angle, and I could not get the ball to...
You need a drop hitch.
Yes, I needed a drop hitch to get it down enough to, pull the thing and clip it on so that it would stay on. So to solve my problem, to get it to hook down, I pulled my truck forward to a curb and pulled up on the curb, so my front wheels were up on the curb, and that, of course, put my tail down, snapped it all on, and then backed it up and
oh my gosh.
But I had not pulled a trailer for probably 10, 12 years. So, but it was a piece of cake. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But it was fun. So I hauled all the stuff up there for them, dropped it all off, and then I came home, and then my wife went up, and she's been up there for a couple of days, and there's no cell service. So I am not been.
Oh wow!
We've completely
incommunicado.
So
wow. Well, I haven't pulled a trailer since today, so yeah, I agree.
I did not end up using your trailer hitch. So you loaned me a hitch with 3 different sizes of balls, and I didn't need them.
No.
So.
No, that's cool. If I hadn't lent it to you, you might have. That's the thing. So no,
yes,
you just need to be prepared. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm actually kind of on a staycation at the moment. We were this week is normally the week that I take off and go on kind of a summer break and take the kids camping. And for the last 10 years or so ish, 10 years. Anyway, a whole lot of years. That's what we've done. We've gone down to the beaches in Southern Oregon, and just, this is the week. Mainly because 4th of July is crazy, fireworks. We have horses. Shirley panics about the horses a little bit, or because loud booms are bad. And then after the 4th of July, we just get out of town and go down. But anyway, this summer, the kids are in so many activities, and my older boy's doing kind of a summer school thing down at the local high school. So we couldn't leave. So instead, we're kind of going to go to Disneyland in a couple of weeks for a kind of a short vacation, like 4 days over a weekend. And I'm staying home, and but since I kind of had blocked the week off, I was like, well, I'll get some projects done. It's been really hard.
And
well, so 2 things I was going to say. A, I've done a lot of running around, like doing errands and stuff, which is crazy, but we've gotten some stuff done. But I bought myself a toy. It is so awesome, and I am so super excited about it, but I can't actually turn it on yet. But I figured I would say, and I know at least, I think there's a couple of friends that might listen to this that will be like, ooh, hey, John, once you get that working. So remember a couple of episodes ago, my something fun was a saw stop.
Uh-huh.
I bought a saw stop off Craigslist.
Oh.
But
a guy at work I was talking to, he mentioned that he was going to come help you move it. So I did know that. Yes.
Oh, okay. You did. Yes. So a guy at work came down, and we went yesterday and picked it up, but it's used. It's a little beat up, but but it's bigger than what I could buy. Like if you were to go out and buy it new, it would be like stupidly expensive. So I got it used, but I didn't actually quite realize what it would take to plug in, because it clearly came out of like a production cabinet maker shop or something like that. Because
is it the big 220 dryer plug kind of thing, or So
you're
not plugging it into the wall socket, is what you're saying.
So not only is it not 220,
oh no,
it's 480. It's 480 3-phase. So I'm gonna have to do some electrical stuff. So that same friend of ours at work is gonna help me set it up. But I both need a 3-phase converter. So that takes the two live wires that are normally in all of our electrical, or in the 220s, there's 2 hots and a neutral,
right?
And you get 3 lines that are live, and then I'm going to have to get a transformer to take it from 240 to 480. So
how many amps does it pull?
Not much, because basically you double the amp. If you double the voltage, you half the amps. So it only pulls 6 amps at 480 volts. So
okay.
I mean, it can't run that. It needs the higher voltage, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
So,
okay.
I have it in my shop. It's super awesome. I'm super giddy excited about it. And I can't actually turn it on yet. I've got a lot of other work to be done before that happens. So, and I don't yet have quite a plan for, am I going to like replace the motor to kind of get it down, or am I going to, anyway, but more to come, I'm sure. My other funny thing I was going to tell you was Shirley actually took a picture of me doing this yesterday. So evidently there is photographic evidence, but you probably shouldn't do this at home. We were clearing out some tree branches, and I needed to clear some pretty high tree branches, and the easiest way to do it was to get in the bucket of the tractor with my chainsaw and have Shirley lift it up so I could reach some branches that were 10 or 12 feet up.
That's the kind of picture that I expect to see tweeted by one of those Darwin Awards.
You know, there was a minor amounts of my like, you know, as I'm sort of standing in the bucket reaching above my head with the chainsaw. Like, this is probably not the wisest thing ever, but yeah. Anyway, and then she totally snapped a picture of me while my head's totally up in the tree though, so you can cut all that out. That's useless. But it was it was probably Darwin worthy. Oh, anyway, but yeah, not much. We're getting stuff done. We're getting stuff done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, mainly fencing. I guess I haven't actually said that. Mainly it's fencing. So
okay,
we'll see.
Well, my follow-up, I think a couple weeks ago I talked about my raspberry shake. I think that was my something fun.
Yes, it was.
A while back.
But
so
there's been some earthquakes near us.
Yeah, with the earthquakes down in LA, I will see if I can put a picture in the metadata of the podcast for my raspberry shake showing the LA earthquakes and some of the aftershocks. It's kind of fun to check out. I don't know. It's kind of fun to see that.
Yeah,
so.
It's hard to believe that you can see it at a sort of consumer grade Raspberry Pi level. What are we at?
Exactly, and it's
800,000 miles away.
And I just think it's cool too, because not only that, I can see when the garbage truck shows up at my house, because it's sitting on the foundation of my house, and anything that comes by on the street, it's noisier than I wish it would be during the day. I mean, it goes very quiet at night, but during the day, just with people walking around the house, and that's how sensitive it is. Just someone walking through the house, you can tell.
Interesting.
So,
can you tell?
Anyways, it's really cool.
I bet you could use machine learning to determine who's walking around the house.
And where they are in the house.
Yeah.
There you go.
You'd need some labeled
machine
data, but
solves all problems.
Yeah, what's that power thing that
Sense?
Yeah. A friend of ours down at work was telling us about.
Yeah.
That apply that to motion off of the Raspberry Shake.
That would be an interesting thing to pursue.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, yeah,
right.
You showed me the picture. Maybe you tweeted it. Did you tweet it? If you didn't tweet it again. And then if people
I think I stuck it in our Slack.
If people have a bad podcast player that doesn't show the image metadata, they can just go look at your Twitter feed.
Good point. Yeah, I think I just stuck it in the Slack. All right.
So, yeah, what do you got for me for a topic?
So my topic this week is exciting because I think I actually tweeted a couple weeks ago what now seems to be somewhat coincidental about how, I work in corporate America, and every company I deal with I work with other companies, and every company that wants to have a conference, they have kind of their own conferencing software.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I think I counted up, I use about 8 different conferencing software from different companies, because different companies standardize on other things. And I'm sure that we annoy other people when we use our conference, set up a meeting with a third party.
You're very familiar with whatever you
software.
use every day. Yeah. And not so much with whatever somebody else is using.
Exactly. Well, apparently there is a conferencing software called Zoom, which I do use, and it's for the Mac. And the software, well, I of course have a Mac, and the Zoom desktop app has a big enough boo-boo in it that it actually exposed your computer to, if a hacker tricked you into going to a website of their control and clicking on a link, it could open up the camera and microphone of your laptop.
Oh, I have not read this article, but I could totally see how they did. So they basically have the custom URL that basically opens up in the app, and the app will automatically join you with whatever.
To make this even worse, because it's you that sounds bad, right? But to make it even worse, in order to bypass installing a browser plugin to allow you to do that, when you installed the app, it would launch a web server that ran persistently all the time.
No, really?
On your machine on a specific port. And so if you uninstalled the app, it left that little web server still running.
No.
So, uninstalling the app on a Mac is drag and drop, into the trash and emptying the trash. Well, this did not go away when you did that. So, but so there's a whole lot around this one, and somewhat to the company's credit, they fumbled things, at least from a PR perspective initially, but now they seem to have figured out that, this is probably really bad for us if we don't just own up to it and produce a fix sooner than later. It went through the whole 90-day responsible disclosure policy, and yeah, you got to read the whole thing. But the end result of this, for me anyways, was, I think if you need to do this, just rely on the browser, because a lot of these, I think most of them, allow you to connect to their services or do video conferencing or just conference applications through the browser only, and don't even bother installing the app. So I went through this morning and started uninstalling, looking at how to uninstall all these video conference apps that I use, making sure they had a web browser equivalent, and they pretty much all do. So
I have noticed that the one that we use most at work has now, to the last few meetings I've joined, actually tried to just launch in the web browser as opposed to launching the app.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was playing a little old man yells at cloud on it and going, no, get me out of I don't want your browser thing. I want to be able to resize the window over here and do my own. Don't move my cheese.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe. Well, I don't like giving the browser, honestly, access to my webcam or microphone.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thing, is the consensus out there, if you read through the Twitter results or just the reaction to what's going on, is don't use native apps, use web browser. Like, okay, unless we're talking about phones, then it's don't use the web browser, use a native app. So
what happens when everything's in the web browser and the web browser is the native, like, Chrome OS?
Well, then we're back to the Netscape dream.
All right.
1995. That's everything cycles.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was my big topic for today, was just the Zoom webcam. Go read about the vulnerability and what it was, and it's very simple how to get rid of it. And I went and looked, and I must have looked after something else had happened. So if you do have a Mac, Apple has the ability to push updates to your device.
Yes.
For security fixes. Apple silently pushed an update to clean out the Zoom app, the web server bits that the Zoom app was using to get around browser restrictions. So
interesting.
Anyways.
Like they did that only if the app was uninstalled?
I don't know. It was in conjunction with Zoom. So Zoom worked with Apple to make sure that the web server issue was resolved.
Interesting. Well, just one other comment. I mean, even sometimes even if two companies are using the same one of those apps, like they're on different versions or there's different levels of support. And so sometimes even like two versions back, in which case it looks old, or it's like just
two
completely
versions ahead.
Different. Yeah. Maybe they're ahead of where we are.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's weird. Okay. So I pulled out two topics today. Well, so the first was just kind of a fun kind of I noticed that your link was a BuzzFeed News link, but this is a ironically, I guess they're both ZDNet articles, and ZDNet is becoming more like BuzzFeed. This is one of those articles where they want you to click so you load like 20 different pages so they can get 20 different.
Oh, right. Yeah. The next.
Yeah. So I actually didn't try it in reader mode. Maybe that will work well. But this was a listing of the world's most famous and dangerous APT state-developed malware. And so this is a list of 16, 18. I guess I should have it up. Different pieces of malware that were developed by primarily the US and Russia. But and there's not a ton of info about each one of these, but most of these look, I recognize the names of. There's a couple that I didn't. I might have to go back and look, but like VPN filter was one that I didn't remember, and Warrior Pride was another that I didn't remember. But some are pretty famous. Stuxnet's probably the one that most people have heard of. That was against the centrifuges, and there were a couple that have just been from the last couple of years, like NotPetya and Bad Rabbit, and Eternal Blue's kind of been come up over and over again in the last couple years after I think that was one of the ones that was disclosed by the shadow brokers a few years back. But anyway, I thought this was a good, interesting thing, kind of a nice little survey of, some things. So for example, the number one, this doesn't seem to be in any order, like of earliest to latest, or, because, the first one, was disclosed in 2014, but then I think the next one was disclosed in 2012. So it's clearly date is not right, or it is not the order. And anyway, I can't figure out what they were ordered by. But so this first one though was Regan. I actually don't know how it's pronounced. It's ironic. But this was one that was developed by the NSA and disclosed in 2014. But it and the next one, which was Flame, are kind of like, what would you call them? Like frameworks that have a whole bunch of different capabilities, that kind of like building blocks that you can put together. Oh, attack toolkit. That's the specific term that was used. That basically has a whole bunch of modules deployed as necessary, and clearly developed by the NSA, and yeah, it's kind of interesting to thumb through these.
Yeah, just kind of FYI,
a who's who of kind of advanced malware for the last 7-8 years. It's kind of cool. So go check it out. We'll put the link in here. And then my second one, which is maybe a little more things to talk about here, was about vulnerabilities discovered in GE anesthesia machines. So this was a company called CyberMDX is the one that wrote this. So Cybernetics, I guess, maybe. But remember, we talked about the disclosure that McAfee did with the Advanced Threat Research Team last year about the was it like a patient monitor or bedside monitor, and the protocol vulnerabilities, in that particular case that one of the guys had discovered and disclosed and had worked through a crazy amount of details on. But this is similar, I feel like, from what I can tell in the article here. But this does require you being on the same network, and then you can send commands to these machines, and it's due, just like in the bedside monitor case, due to a lack of authentication. And so if you don't require authentication, then of some form, then anybody.
All I need to know is how to form the packet.
Yeah, anybody who's on the same network, whether they're physically on the same network because they're in the hospital somewhere, or they're remotely controlling some device that's on the network, they can send commands to the anesthesia machines. And almost worse, I don't know, just as bad. Some of the commands are not available in later versions of the protocol, but it's possible to force the machine to downgrade the protocol that it's talking for backward compatibility. So this is, something that, is known as a downgrade attack, at least in cryptography or encryption. And,
right.
But so, if you can talk to a device and pretend that the only version of the protocol you can talk is the previous version because there's a known weakness in that version, then, you get to the device will downgrade to the previous protocol, and then, you can then deploy whatever attack was available with that protocol. So this was oh man, medical devices are such a problematic target space at the moment. Well, maybe ever, but the commands that can be used to you can make adjustments to the gas composition. So modifying concentration of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, other whatever is available for distribution.
Something you wouldn't want to allow happen to an anesthesia machine.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad thing. But even one of the other things is that one of the other things they said in here was that you could silence device alarms, also bad. But you could also just modify timestamps inside the logs, which, would prevent any kind of, value in looking at a timeline of events.
When did I change the dosage for this? Oh, I need to change it to this value at this time because so much time has passed.
Right.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Terrible. And it maybe in the underlying research paper, it said how old these machines were. Typically what I've seen for a couple of these disclosures, and I know what the guys in the Advanced Threat Research Lab had done was, they got a hold of a device that was pretty old. They were able to buy it off of, I don't know, eBay or some medical device reseller. And, so those tend to be, by the time they're cheap enough that, a threat research team can just pick one up somehow, they tend to be older devices. But, the response from GE, well, so they did do a responsible disclosure to GE, but GE decided not to patch them, basically. So I presume that part of that calculus was based on the age and the number of devices in the field, which, again, I don't have data around, but that's kind of frightening.
I'm air quoting, there is a fix.
Well, the fix that GE detailed was don't connect them to the network.
Yeah.
There is always a spectrum between usability and security, and the most secure device is completely one that is turned off, unplugged in a safe behind 13-foot walls of concrete. So,
well, hold on now, because my something fun may change your mind.
Oh, okay.
So
Look at you.
Keep that in mind when we get there.
Okay, we'll get there. Yeah. So that was what GE's response was, that you should, if you're concerned about these vulnerable machines, the vulnerabilities can be avoided if the anesthesia machines aren't connected to the hospital's network. But in case anesthesia machines need to be connected to a central management system, GE says that secure terminal servers should be used. And then the article goes on to say, without specifying what this would be or what requirements a secure terminal server must meet. So I don't know. So I would read that, this isn't something that I guess
segregated VLAN.
Yeah, you've got to put them on a separate network that's isolated, and use a jump post or something to have them get out. Anyway, that was the article I thought was worth bringing up today.
Connect all the things. Oops,
yeah.
We connected all the things.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all good. Okay. So, hey, how about something fun? You just said your something fun was about 13 foot of concrete.
Yeah. So my something fun is a Kickstarter project, which I noticed someone had mentioned on Twitter, and I'll just read the title to the Kickstarter project. The world's first patented unhackable computer ever. So apparently somebody started a Kickstarter to build an unhackable computer that they had a patent for.
Oh my gosh.
And the fun part, so we'll link the Kickstarter project. So it's been canceled. Surprise. But the fun part is you can only comment if you have backed the project. So it got 36 backers who put in $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever, or for a t-shirt. It only had 2 rewards, a $1, yay, I support, or a, at least $1, yeah, I supported it, or a $10 t-shirt, I think was a reward.
Oh my gosh.
And just some of the comments are funny.
Oh, I'm reading them right now.
Yeah. I'm in for the $1 just to see what happens. I wish the $1, worth the $1 to watch this train wreck.
I see that. Oh gosh.
Backing $1 so I can ask the obligatory, where's the blockchain? So.
Oh, I love it. Oh, anyway, I love it.
And the video is over the top. So I couldn't make it all the way. The video was so over the top and cringeworthy, I couldn't make it through the whole video. But I thought, well, I'll go look at the patent and see what the patent has. And I don't know how this patent got created. As far as I can tell, it looks a lot like sandboxing, which is a known thing, or secure enclaves, which are a known thing. Or, as I read through the patent, I could not figure out, and I'm not a patent guy, so clearly somehow it got through the patent system, but I couldn't find anything. So I just wanted to read a couple things from the patent because I thought they were fun. So there's a section on the advantages of a system designed the way that they designed it. Number 1, it cannot be corrupted. I think a soldering iron would disagree. And number 2, it cannot be rendered useless temporarily or permanently. I think a soldering iron would also disagree, or a hammer might disagree with that. It cannot be hijacked. I don't know what that means. It cannot be remotely tempered with. I don't know if that is a misspelling or if tempered is intentional there. And then my favorite one, and I will just read this straight out of the advantages to the system, because it's already made the claim that it's an unhackable computer and can avoid bad things happening to it. So here's number 7. If for some rare chance a virus or malware sneaks into said machine, it will not affect the main operating system software in any way, but it might impact the browser system software. If that happens, a user-friendly system software will analyze the problem, identify and delete the virus or malware files, and ban such files and IP addresses where it came from for future downloads. User has control over the country and which IP addresses are allowed to get in and which are banned. So it's whitelisting, and it's my mom is going to know which IP addresses she needs to ban and not ban.
Or what an IP address is.
Yeah, so I am confused about... Good luck to the guy trying to enforce his patent, because I can't see anything in here that's unique. But like I said, I'm not an expert. Somebody in the patent office granted the patent. So anyways, That was my something fun. If you want to be entertained, read the Kickstarter comments, and if you want to be confused, go read the patent.
I'm afraid I found, I think, my favorite comment. He's setting aside 3 whole months to write an operating system while the hardware is being built. What could go wrong?
That's right. Exactly. Right. Okay. What operating system does this read?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like we're piling on somebody that doesn't actually know how computers work. So
well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday there will be good for somebody to try to tackle an impossible problem. I don't know. That's the best I can do. I think I said that with a straight face.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's definitely good for a laugh.
Yeah.
Definitely good for a laugh.
Something fun.
My something fun. I really enjoy. Remember, oh gosh, it's been a long time ago now, maybe almost a year ago, where we did the page that totally took apart a TLS session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, yeah? So this is something similar, but this is a article that is about unraveling the JPEG. So, what?
Sorry, I'm reading ahead. Sorry,
you're reading ahead.
I'll edit up my laughing.
Well, now you can't. Now it's part of the continuity. No, so the JPEGs are the image file format. You would see them. You probably see them every day. Your phone, when it takes a picture, well, I guess depending on what phone you have, it probably saves it in JPEG because it's a ubiquitous format that is very good at compressing an image without losing. You get good image compression without being very perceptible to the human eye.
Right.
And it is absolutely what is known in the biz as a lossy compression, right? So you are throwing away information if you have a JPEG that has if you have a raw image from a camera and you convert it to a JPEG, you're losing info. You can't recreate the full raw image from the compressed version. Right. But the JPEG might be 1/10, 50th of the size, right? So, a 1 meg raw image. We don't have 1 meg raw images these days. Let's say a 50 meg raw image might be a 1 meg JPEG, for example. So and I guess the other cool thing about the JPEGs is you can kind of scale how lossy you want it to be, and you can say, basically give the algorithm free range to make things more lossy in exchange for getting a smaller file. And it was really, really important way back in the day. In fact, it was, what does it say? It was created in 1992. So back when the web really, really, really needed a small image file, something that could represent a good image, but in a small number of bytes, because we didn't have as much bandwidth as some of us have these days. Yeah, I can always figure out how to work that in. But so anyway, so this article walks through what the different layers of a JPEG are and what the different layers of compression it are, and it's really cool. And it also even has it's kind of fun, but it has an inline editor of the of a JPEG too. So it's kind of cool. You can play around with it, the numbers in it.
That's what I'm
live
looking at right now.
Isn't that awesome?
Totally playing with it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're saying. I'm busy just playing with the cat image here.
Okay, and of course it's a cat image, because why wouldn't it be? But yeah, I mean this is so cool. This is so cool. And they give you some options to what to change to in different places to see sort of some weird things happening, because it's not a intuitive image format, right? A bitmap is intuitive, but this is not. But the cool thing here, so they go through the 3 layers of JPEG compression, which is chrominance subsampling, discrete cosine transform, and quantization, and then Ren length encoding and Huffman encoding. So let's see. They give some numbers here. Yeah. So they have some examples with 10 times smaller than the same image without compression, and then 57 times smaller than the same. And really, to my eyes, and okay, you might have better eyes than me, but you can barely see the difference between these images. I can see maybe a tiny bit of difference in some of the background, but it's crazy
right.
how much the same they look.
Yep.
But anyway, so then it sort of walks through what those are and why it works. So for example, the chrominance subsampling is crazy cool because they have examples of why they use what are they saying? They say, what is CB? Oh, relative blueness, relative redness, CBCR.
Right.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, like, you can subsample, meaning that you'll store more data about some of those channels than others. So for example, let's say instead of saving the color of red for every pixel, you'll just say, I'm going to average the reds for a block of 4 pixels because, right. That's fine. But the thing is that it makes a difference which color you choose to subsample. So in the luminance, if you muck with the luminance at all, it's bad. But you can do blue and red pretty well without losing too much image. And they've got examples here of how you can subsample in different channels differently and how the eye perceives it. Which is totally cool, I think. Anyway, So you kind of got to read this article and go through the whole thing and play around with some of the editors.
Yes.
And I thought this had to be my fun thing this week. This is cool.
I agree. Definitely something. Yeah, go spend more time than you anticipate running through all this information. Yeah, if you are interested in images and how they function on a computer at all, go play.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? Yeah. I'm now looking at the cosine patterns, and which I gotta be honest, I don't totally understand, but it's amazing that it works. And the other thing that's amazing to me is that this was all figured out in the late 80s. I mean, the file format came out in 92, but they started working on it in like 88.
Right.
So.
And if you really are geeking out about it, the code's all on GitHub, so go play with the source code directly.
Right? Yes. Okay. Anyway, that's way too much about this little thing, but it's totally awesome. Go check it out. Super cool.
Definitely something fun.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
My something fun.
Well done.
All right. Well, I will continue to enjoy my staycation. I'm only taking a few work calls. I am actually taking a few work calls though, because I'm not totally.
I have been studiously trying to avoid bugging you.
Well, I'm not sure about that. My watch buzzes me every 30 seconds. But I've been studiously avoiding responding.
The group chats. The group chats, not from a direct chat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.
All right. See you, John.
All right. Bye.
Bye.